Welcome to Ace Toys for My Act, bringing the greatest toys from the greatest decade. And today I'm going to take you to the greatest arcade, Funspot. I'm going to take you around the entire place, every nook and cranny you can think of, every arcade room. Like the sign says, we're going to have fun at Funspot. We're going to start at the main entrance. Then eventually I'm going to take you to the center room. All right, here you go when you first enter. You got Stalker, Rescue Raider, Trivial Pursuit, Night Shocker, Snacks and Jackson. Never heard of it. And as you make your way around, they have little museum pieces like this dedicated to ColecoVision, older pinball games that look like they were made before fire was discovered. Stop and Go, the fastest selling novelty. This has got to be one of the oldest football games I've ever seen. This thing makes 10-yard flight look like Madden 21. Look at those legs. You know, he's running around. Tabletop game. More tabletop games. Always loved them back in the day. Tabletop games were unique, a little different to play with. As you can see, as I go around Funspot, I'm trying to find areas where nobody is at this point. I'm trying not to bother anybody. I'm also trying to get very good shots. So like I said, this is the tabletop section. Very interesting. A lot of very cool games here. And you have this Ghostbusters game near those old tabletop games. And this newer looking game looks just as confused as I am why it's there. Then you got Hercules. Biggest pinball machine in the world and the largest arcade in the world. It's giant. It uses a cue ball to actually play the pinball game. It is. Picture doesn't even do justice of how big it actually is. And over in this section, you have Afterburner. You got a very high-tech looking Space Invaders, much cooler than anything I ever saw on the Atari 2600. So that's a very cool addition to Funspot. And over here after Space Invaders, this is the new little mini golf course that they built a few years ago. It's nice. Don't get me wrong, it's nice. I don't see any giant clowns spitting balls out at me, laughing at me. That's the type of stuff that I look for inside a mini putt course. I don't see anything like that, but it's a nice thing. As you can see, the honor system, self-serve, get your own ball, bring your family in. They got a nice big whale. You can shoot it right in its mouth. You got a little train, little outhouse. It's nice. It's a nice addition to the arcade. You don't see that in many arcades. Most arcades aren't big enough to have something this size either. And there's a boat. So it's a lot of cute little things. But like I said, you got Hansel and Gretel over here, which is nice. But I kind of
pretty cool.
It'd be cooler if they kicked the ball back at me, hit me in the face, or this guy laughing at me. Downstairs, you have a nice little bowling alley. If you want to bowl, you have the bowl there. And next to it, though, you have this Pac-Man machine, which it's very cool. As you can see, you can get 4 players. I'm all by myself, so I'd look pretty stupid sitting there by myself playing as the red Pac-Man. And right next to it, they throw The Simpsons, NBA Jam. So it's not just the main room that has all these great games. You got Batman. Next to it, you have Superman. Great games upon great games everywhere you turn. And who doesn't love Off-Road? What a fun game. Now, as you keep going through this room, you enter into the kids section. Now, I tried to get my friend Sexton to sit on these and take a picture, and he agreed to it on the way home. He told me on the way home, he's like, I should have sat in that Flintstone car. I'm like, that's what I tried to get you to do while you were there. So there's the Flintstone car, minus Sexton. But regardless, we still had a great time. There's the Walking Dead. Now, this is the newer section. Very cool games. I mean, it's not this is a brand new game, but this is the newer section. You're not going to find games from the 80s over here. Walking Dead looks very cool. And as you go over here, you have just a lot of typical type arcade games where you get tickets, and I'll show you the prizes you get on tickets later. But I'm gonna go check out this because it is here. I don't want to bother anybody, and I picked one that's out of order. So there you go. And oh my God, Bubble Hot. Who doesn't love this? And we usually play, but as you can see, out of order. The thing with there's Superman Pinball, Monopoly Pinball. The thing with Funspot is though, you'll find games that are out of order. But there's a million other games there, so you're kind of, it doesn't matter as much unless it's like your super favorite game. Like if Punch-Out was out of order, you're really upset. Captain America, that's a very cool game. So it's not like they're brand new games here, but they're a little bit newer than some of the ones I've been before. And this game, Star Wars, is fantastic. That's great. I've gone to Funspot for 7 years now, and yet to play that because somebody's always on it. And there's Jurassic Park, and another very cool game. Like I said, this is the newer section, which the games are pretty amazing. I don't even know. I think some of them are like 2 tokens. I'm not sure how much they're on this section, but usually it's packed. I can never get on anything, except for the big bass wheel, which I get interested in. And over here you got Let's Go Jungle, which I honestly didn't know a lot about. So I creep in there. Nobody's actually playing it. I could play at this moment, but it's strictly business right now. And these, oh my god, there's giant spiders attacking me. That's absolutely horrifying. And
Let's go.
Closer, it says land
Jungle.
on the Islands of Spice. And next to that, you have Terminator 2 Salvation. Awesome game. First year I was here, my friend Woody and Neil spent a ton of money playing this game. I don't know the exact the amount, but it was a lot. And right next to Terminator Salvation, you actually have the Judgment. This is downstairs now. You got Seawolf, which, you know, you can put your eyes in there and play. I barely like touching joysticks after people touch them. I'm certainly not going to stick my eyeballs into the periscope. That is pink eye immediately, most likely. And then over on this side, like I said, this is downstairs. They have all these racing games. Daytona racing games, ton of newer type games here. This is still where all the newer games are. And they have stuff like air hockey. Oh, you got skee ball, which everybody loves skee ball. And they're getting tickets. They're getting tickets to win wonderful prizes, which in a second you're going to see. Here I am. I'm at the prizes. Now, there's a huge line right here for the prizes. I'm telling you, it wraps around in 2 lines. I don't have time for that. I just kind of snuck in front of everybody just to get pictures. There's a big piece of shit. You can literally win a big piece of shit if you play hard. Yep, there it is. People are behind me right now. I don't know what they're thinking about me, but I had to get some good footage for you, so here we are. I'm kind of acting like I work here and that this is official business. Monkey business as I shoot pictures of monkeys right there. So these are the prizes you get, typical prizes that you get at places like this. You work your ass off, you go on the spider run. Then they have an actual shoot the bear. I don't know how old this type of game is. I didn't read about all this, but it looks pretty interesting, and you can shoot a bear, which coincidentally earlier in the day we were at our favorite diner there, and they have a stuffed bear there. So the theme of New Hampshire, oh, there it is. The theme of New Hampshire tends to be stuffed bears. Now, after you're done playing all your games and you want to talk some shit, you go to the Brag and Dragon. That's where you go in, you're like, hey, guess who got the high score on Kangaroo and Punch-Out today? You go in there and you brag. It's the Brag and Dragon. You grab a pizza and you walk around and you talk shit about video games. Now, here's the main room.
Everything's operated with tokens.
And when you first go in there, this is where they offer the tokens.
It's not bad.
It's a great deal. If you do $20 worth of tokens, you are going to have all day there. You're not going to run into tokens. In the end, I actually give them away to kids, like just as birthday presents, because they also have birthday parties. I give coins away. I'm like Santa Claus, a Funspot. You got chicken shit. Now, this looks like an Atari cover where it looks awesome, but then you look at the game, you're like, oh my god. But you know, they're older games, a lot of these, but a lot of them are awesome. Like Cloak and Dagger, love that movie, fantastic movie. The game, I was never as much into it. 720. Anybody that likes skating or skating games, that's where it's at. Mr. Do. This is right at the main entrance to that central room. These are all the games there, and you know, a lot of great classic games. I'm sure some of you are seeing ones at Ladybug that you loved back in the day. Now, over on the left side, when you first walk in, the first aisle, all pinball machines. There's very few pinball machines that I remember that I don't see when I go through. This one right here, actually, Black Knight, it had it at the pizza store, Via Mia, down the street from me. This game, awesome game. And this guy would talk so much shit on you whenever he was just threatening you the whole time, and then when you lost, he just rubbed it right in your face. Just a classic game. Black Knight 2000, back for more talking shit, I guess. He didn't, ruin my self-esteem enough the first time around, so he kind of upgraded himself like a T2 model. And they got everything. They even have a Playboy game, which, one time I went here, I found Sexton. Almost every year I find Sexton playing the Playboy pinball machine. He loves it. Harlem Globetrotters. I don't see a Washington Generals game anywhere. But some of these games are much older. Like Scott, that's an older game. that Sky Jump. They have older. They have everything here. It's a great place. If you've never been here, I strongly suggest checking it out. There's just, you could spend all day here and just play game after game after game. Oh, here I am back at Black Knight. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to put a token in and see if I can get him, like I said, to talk some trash at me. Does he like to do that? It's kind of noisy in here, though, so I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to hear it. Let's see how this sounds.
I told you earlier, one of my friends, it's one of his favorite games. There's the little dirty bird himself playing it. Oh yeah, I'm playing Playboy. Man, you really know your way around a Playboy, buddy.
Yep. I like it, the bonus.
What's the matter? You didn't score again?
Looks like I'm coming up a little win.
He's trying his best. He's got the face of intensity on right now, huh? He's got 20,000 points. Is that good? Who the hell knows? Nobody knows.
Alright, so we're going to leave Sexton alone to play as Playboy. Now, on the other side of the pinball machine, still in the first aisle, you got
Space Duel. Tempest, very cool. Oh, sorry. Classic Star Wars. Classic Star Wars. Asteroids.
they have everything. Another game where you stick your face in it? I don't think so. I've seen some of these kids playing, and I see them sneezing all over themselves. Oh, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. What an awesome game.
Marble Madness, drive everybody crazy. This is my favorite.
I'm dying to play it, but I'm doing this for you. I'm going to film the entire place. Food Fight Dig Dug. I actually just played this the other night on my PC. There's Paperboy, made it very far in the tournament. Excellent, excellent game. These are just a few games that are on the side before I show you the back wall. There's APB. I believe that was the inspiration for NWA's song. Here's Space Fury, where the intro to this is extremely long. It's almost like beginning of Star Wars long. The storyline it's telling. It's partial enemy ships will try to ram the player ship. I mean, that's obvious. That happens in every friggin' game, right? Between the round, the player ship can dock for more firepower. Once again, I don't find that all that exciting and new. And after all this, you're going to assume, holy shit, like this game's going to be really in depth, and the enemy fleet before reinforcement. You think, wow, this is going to be hell of a game, and then this pops up, and you're like, what the hell? All that for that? I'm not saying it's a bad game, but shit, you could have gone without all those directions. So here's the back wall. A lot of great sit-down games over here. You know, Pole Position 2, which is temporarily out of order, as you can see. But like I said, when they're out of order, you got so many other games. Now, I don't know if Fire Truck is that other game you're looking for in your life when your game's out of order, but who the hell knows? Maybe you want to be a fireman, and this is where it all began. Who am I to judge? And then they threw a few more pinball games over there. You got a little Elton John going on. You got Flip Flop. Then after that, we're on the right side of the inner sanctum, I guess you would call it, of Funspot, where more arcade games, just fantastic classics like Star Castle, Bosco. And then what they have up top is they have posters of different events, this and that, and probably the one that's closest to this place is right here. Like this one, Fistful of Quarters, if anybody's seen King Kong, that's Billy Mitchell right there on the left. He's the one, the star of the movie, where, you know, beating the Donkey Kong record. It's an intense movie. I suggest watching it. Maybe we'll see Mr. Billy Mitchell today at some point. Who knows? Maybe he still frequents Funspot. I have no idea. We shall see. There's Operation Wolf, another classic shooter.
Here we got Super Sprint. Classic story back in the day about Super Sprint. My friend was playing it non-stop. Some dude was eyeing him up. Guy comes over, tells him he's the Super Sprint champion of the world. Once again, I don't know how factual any of this stuff is, but that's what he claimed. And then we drove home. We're at the condo. Car drives by. Who stops by? Super Sprint. Starts beeping. So Super Sprint guy, if you're out there hearing this, you really creeped the shit out of us out that day. Thank you. Lots of classic games here. Warlord. Kung Fu Master. Love Kung Fu Master. Breakthrough. Forgotten Worlds. Life Force. Just got its ass beat in the tournament yesterday. Great game though. Commando, another game that's out of the tournament. Akari Warriors. And classic Tetris.
All great games. And this is still the second aisle, but this is the right side. A lot of great games everywhere. Space Dungeon, Jungle Hunt. I actually loved this game on the Atari 2600 more than even the arcade. I used to play the shit out of that. Great game. Lunar Rescue, Zookeeper, another classic game. We did an NES tournament, but I've also done an arcade tournament, and all these games, like I said, lots of classic games. You have Defender, Stargate, Moon Patrol, which gets a lot of hype over the years as being a classic game. I tried it a few years ago. My friend saw me playing it. He turned around. I was gone. He said, "What happened to you?" I said, "I got bored." So now whenever we get bored and walk away from a game, we just call it Moon Patrol and leave it on. And his brother actually was hyped up about Robotron. He's like, "It's my favorite game," or like, "Explain it to us." He's like, "It's futuristic." I don't know. I mean, there's robots. So I guess it's futuristic in that aspect. You look at the game and I don't know. I don't know if it was groundbreaking, but who knows? Maybe at the time. Track and Field. I love this game. I just bought it for the NES the other night, actually, the arcade version, and it still holds up. I love playing it. I love playing it until my finger hurts from banging that button. Now here's the other side of the aisle. You got Carnival, and a lot of these games, they don't stand the test of time. And I wouldn't say a lot, but some of them, like Moon Patrol, I don't think it stands the test of time. Frogger, I could play that game over and over again. There's just some games that are you can just keep playing. Now, if you're a huge Moon Patrol, Kroll, what a great movie back in the day. And I loved the game for the Atari 2600. A very underrated game. Very cool. Q*bert. It's gotta be that's gotta be one of the hardest games out. I'm constantly jumping off the edge. That couple seem to be doing better than me. And Double Dragon, of course. There we go. Oh, poor Marion. It never gets easy to watch poor Marion getting kidnapped like that. But don't worry. Here come the Lee brothers. They'll get her back. And then they'll beat each other's ass at the end. Crazy Kong. There's a whole Donkey Kong section right on the other side of this. I'm not sure why that one didn't make the Donkey Kong section, but there's. I thought that said Pilates at first. I'm like, that sounds exciting. 1943, another game. I bought this for the NES the other night. Oh, hold on, everybody. I think I spotted Billy Mitchell. Let me check.
Is that who I think it is? Oh, it's my friend Neil. Sorry, mistaken identity, buddy. How are you doing? You doing good? You're killing it as usual. Just for the record, who won our Tecmo Bowl football championship last night? That would be you. Who did you beat in the finals?
I beat you.
That would be me.
I beat everyone. I did not lose one game.
Luckily, I am a very optimistic man. I'm keeping my spirits up and having a fun time regardless of getting beat.
Okay, so that was a complete false alarm. I apologize. But let's carry on. Let's look at main event, and maybe we'll catch Billy. We haven't gotten to Donkey Kong yet, so maybe Billy Mitchell's hanging out on Donkey Kong. Main event, great looking game. I always had fun with it, but honestly, it's like one big button that you bang. I don't understand this. Congo Bongo. Another Atari 2600 game that I loved, along with Zaxxon. Game after game, great memories, and everybody loves Contra. I had this for the NES. For the PS4, and it's got the arcade, it's got the NES version, the second version. It's fantastic. Everybody loves Contra, and it actually made it to our final 8 games. Silkworm, never heard of it. Hit the Ice. It's a pretty cool hockey game. So like I said, hit after hit. They're really Amador. I loved it. A lot of these were classic on the Atari 2600. Like I said, you go home and it looks like dog shit compared to what it did in the arcade, but it was still so much fun. Great games on the Atari. At some point, we will have an Atari 2600 tournament too, I'm sure. There's real Ghostbusters. Not quite as high tech as the one we saw over in the other section, but still a very cool game. And this, I believe, is the fourth aisle. Space Invaders classic. Probably hard to compare to that first room we were in with the giant Space Invaders. Tron, one of my favorite cabinets. I just think it's cool. I think the joystick's cool. I think if I were to get a cabinet, that's what I would get, and I would put a shit ton of games on there. I would use the actual Tron cabinet because it's always one of my favorite. There's Burger Time. This guy's Peter Pepper right now. He's making some burgers over there. He's having a good time. Mappy. I don't know. I believe that made the tournament a few years ago. I never heard of it. He kind of looks like a goofball, but who knows? Maybe it's a great game. I have no idea. Iron Horse looks pretty intense. Oh, and here we go, Rampage. We know the crew. This is actually a trivia question the other night. Poor Ralph the Werewolf did not make the NES version, but there's all three of them just wrecking shit up. Hogan Zowie.
Nice. Who is this gunslinger? Oh, it's Sexton again. He's moved on from Playboy, and now he's shooting ducks. Look how disappointed he is. Maybe next time, buddy.
So, Brian might want to stick with Playboy after that shooting I saw. Now, he didn't do too bad. He got a few ducks. Here's the Donkey Kong section I was talking about, and you can't go wrong with Donkey Kong. Look at all of them. Every single Donkey Kong you can think about, except for that one that was kicked out of the Donkey Kong section. Popeye, I love this game too. Another Atari 2600 game that I loved, but the arcade, it's a great game. And there's Dr. Mario. So, and there's regular Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers. There's Mario Brothers. So this is kind of the Mario section, the Mario and Donkey Kong section, which is good. I like that they have theme sections. There's Russian Attack. I believe that was possibly a first round loser in our tournament, but excellent game on the NES. Fantastic game. Up over here, I gotta be honest, I'm not too familiar with some of these games. Tiger Road, but here's my game, Punch Out, my favorite game. I hope to get to play and the controller's not wonky, so I can beat Mr. Sandman today. There's Crossbow. I used to think that was a very cool game. Now, what used to be over in that section, Chiller, another cool game. They used to have Space Ace and Dragon's Lair over in this section. Two of my favorites. I didn't really like the playability of them as much, but at the time, that whole CD-ROM type, those graphics that they had, it was cutting edge. It was always a 50-cent game though, so that kind of, I'd rather spend a quarter on Punch Out than 50 cents on Dragons Lair, but it was cool to watch. This is the right wall, so this is pretty much the last wall of the inner sanctum. There's Robot Bowl. That looks about as futuristic as Robotron. We got Drive Master. There is one more front wall that I'm going to hit. That has Pac-Man and everything there, but people are all over there, and I don't want to bother people too much. But there is, like I said, there is a little Pac-Man section. Hopefully that clears up a little bit. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to jump in and just go take a video of it. And there's Gauntlet. Everybody loves Gauntlet. Very upsetting that it didn't make the NES tournament, or at least far into it as it should have. And there's Super Zaxxon. If you're a Zaxxon fan, I'm not very familiar with Super Zaxxon, but I did play the original. Mainly on the Atari 2600. Very cool game. Elevator Action. That's another classic arcade game. I never got too much into it. And once again, Bosconia. Here's the Pac-Man section. And some of these games I just didn't get into because they weren't in my neighborhood. Or we had a place called Great Escape where we had arcade parties with for kids and everything. There's Pac-Mania. That was at the Crystal Lake Diner where I live by. My friend and Mel and I used to be there 2, 3 in the morning just playing the shit out of that game too. And there's regular Pac-Man. I was waiting for it was open, so I'm sorry to bother you, but there you go. Wait, hold on a second. This might be another Billy Mitchell site playing Star Wars. I don't know if that's Billy Mitchell though, because he had a hard time figuring out where the tokens even went. And I have a strong feeling that Billy Mitchell would never have trouble finding out where to put the tokens into an arcade game. But who knows? This might be. It looked like him from the side. Reading the instructions. Alright, let's get prepared. What's he gonna pick here? Let's go easy? Yeah. Oh, Billy. I don't think so. Medium. He can't decide. He's all over the place. I believe he picked medium. Alright. We'll let him sign that. Oh, he's blowing them up. Let's see if we can get a quick shot to see if this is... Ah, it's my friend Neil again. He got me again. He grew that beard. He keeps fooling me. He keeps making me think he's Billy Mitchell. Good job, Neil. This is just the demo of it playing itself. Paperboy calls it quits. Oh, no. Let's watch that again. Let's end on a good note. Let's make sure we get a good review at the end. This is a choose-your-own-adventure version of Funspot. I'm choosing to reset the book and go to a different page right now. Let's see. Okay, not too bad. Went through a window, crashed into a car. Did we do well enough? Damn right we did. Amazing Paperboy delivers. And that's how you end a day at Funspot. So I hope you enjoyed the tour, everybody. And we ended on a good note, like I said. So if you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. We'd love to have you over here. It's completely free. And also, if you like the video, hit the little thumbs up for us and hit that like. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy your day. And I look forward to bringing you more and more videos. Have a great day, everybody.